Welcome to the Post Shift Podcast, your raw look at the hospitality industry, brought to you by SHC. This week's episode is proudly sponsored by Bar Green Ellington for all your restaurant and bar needs. Visit bargreen.com for the full portfolio. What is happening, Post Shifters? Welcome back to another episode of the Post Shift Podcast. This is episode 1 of season 4. I've taken a couple of weeks off to have a bit of a sabbatical from the helter-skelter of this podcast because it is a hell of a lot of work. And doing my 300th episode 2 weeks ago now, almost 2.5 weeks ago, was a big milestone for me. I was lucky enough to interview Monica Berg for my 300th. I've done, over the last 300 episodes, I've done Salvatore Calabrese, Dal DeGroff, Jim Meehan, Julie Reiner, Jeffrey Morgenthaler. Oh my God, so many guests, like 125, 130 guests over the last 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And so I took a little bit of a sabbatical just because I just needed a break. With all the projects I've got on the go, with Clive's ramping up, we've got a new menu coming out tomorrow. It was just there was a lot of stuff on my mind and a lot of stuff that I had to do. And I just needed to take a break from the extracurricular stuff I do that I started and really lent into during the pandemic. BC Spirits was another one. I haven't done any videos for BC Spirits for a couple of weeks as well. But that's coming back this week as well, hopefully. And so this big thing is that this last 2 weeks, I've just been sort of thinking about why I'm doing this podcast and how come I'm continuing to do this podcast, because we're going to be aiming for 400 episodes now. And I had to deal with a bit of mental health stuff that I've been going through for the last couple of weeks. Just a little bit of a burnout, to be honest with you. I've been going 100 miles an hour for the last almost 2 years with the pandemic, and it got to a stage where I've talked about my why a couple of times, and I'm still not struggling, but I'm still noodling over what is my why. It's difficult sometimes to be in Victoria. It's a small city, and so to not be able to travel and get out of the town. And that's the thing, it's the longest I've been in Victoria for 10 years. It's been a little bit of a mental health sort of stretch. And I know a lot of people during pandemic times have had that stretch, that stress. And I've tried to be as positive for you guys as I possibly can be. But there's a certain point where everybody just is like, you know what am I doing? And so that's where I was at. I was like, 300 episodes. I'm a one-man show. I've said this before. I do the booking, I do the organization, I do the research, I do the recording, I do the editing, I do the posting, and I do everything else around it. And so it really got me to thinking about like long-term, like where is this taking me? What is this doing for me long-term? And I still haven't come down with an exact science of what I'm doing it for. And I'm hoping if you're listening to this that you can reach out. I'd love for you to reach out to me on social media and stuff and give me your 2 cents on what I should be doing in the next 100 episodes or the next couple of months. But for me, my podcast has always been cathartic. And when the tank is empty, you can't put anything out. And that's where I was at, that my tank was empty. I needed to recharge it. I don't think it's fully recharged yet. I'm still having some issues changing over anxiety medication stuff because I have horrible social anxiety. And so I really want to try and get through that. That being said, I do have a lot of cool people coming up next week and the week after. I've got David Wondrich and Nick Nimeth from Miracle. So that's going to be a ton of fun. But yeah, I'm trying to find my why as to why this podcast has been so important to me, because it's been cathartic, it's been mentorship, it's been reverberation and echo chamber for me to sort of help a lot of other people. And I really hope that I've helped other people in this journey. But yeah, you know what? I'm not going to make this a long episode. It's a post-shift shot. I'm going to do it short. I'm not sure what I'm going to do this Friday yet. I still haven't got a guest for this week because I'm trying to launch this new cocktail menu. I had inventory up yesterday. You know what it's like if you're in the industry. But I want to thank everybody for the support that I've got over the last little while. Please, if you've ever got any sort of value out of the Post Shift podcast, can you leave a review or drop me a comment and hit me up with what you'd like to see from the Post Shift podcast going forward over the next little bit. And I'd love to hear from you guys. And so As always, guys, thanks for the support, as I already said. But have a good week. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening, Pose Shifters. I hope you enjoyed that episode. I really enjoy sitting down with friends and peers and just chatting about the industry and getting down to the nuts and bolts of what's really going on out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, everything on all the platforms. Just hit it up and I'll do my best to answer any queries or questions you have. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.